Okay, Gaming the Post 11. I have decided to steal the Chinese nuclear space program. Based on this concept I was making to make fun of it. But because the nuclear power is providing me with propulsion, I'm going to put that on a massive carrier battleship. Okay? So this is Gaming the Post 11. So this is after the production of all the infrastructure. So there is gas on Venus, there is concrete vessels being produced, there is water being shipped from the moons of Enceladus, Europa, and Ganymede. There's also water found on Mars, but I'm not getting into Mars because I ignore Mars in my program. So, in Gaming the Post 11, what we're looking at is that I have a massive carrier battleship that is nuclear power, and the steam from the nuclear power is producing my propulsion for that vehicle. Now this is water propulsion. Essentially, this is water propulsion combined with electrical production. So it's taking advantage of the water shipments from Ganymede, Europa, and Enceladus. Now it is moving around the solar system, and it's got stockpiles. So it's carrying stockpiles of all of my stuff that I want. It's carrying my smaller ships and my smaller craft. It's carrying my space chair that moves human beings around with an electromagnetic sphere, just by the attraction of a metal plate, of a magnet to a metal plate. So these guys, that's just a basic like spacewalking device. So you can picture like I'm a giant carrier, and then there's some people out there, like moving around in these little spheres, like going back and forth. And the beauty of that is, like, no matter what happens, like, they still have the ability to move. But then on my smaller vessels that the vehicle is actually carrying, like, say I want to engage into an orbital craft, an orbital mission, and so I send from my carrier, I send like 10 ships, and they carry the CO2 gas that's going to provide them with the ability to fly information, enter orbit, and then complete their mission. Then return to the vessel and land on the massive carrier. So the nuclear power is pretty cool, but it still needs to carry a huge supply of water, and so it's not really going to be a good idea for a long-term thing, unless I want it to be a carrier battleship. And if it's a carrier battleship, it's not really going to go very far. It's just going to kind of stay in orbit until it needs to it's going to stay docked until it needs to go out and do its operations. Because it's not floating in a sea like on the Earth. It's not floating in a sea full of water, of H2O. It's got to carry, essentially, it's turning the water into the fuel. So what's cool is here now, Venus is my fuel depot, right? And Venus is my fuel production facility. So I'm pumping this gas. I'm pumping compressed gas. Now that gives me one type of fuel. The other type of fuel now is coming from the moons of Europa, Ganymede, and Enceladus, where I can easily get it because of the gravity. But I'm shipping icebergs, and I'm shipping icebergs to this carrier so that it can produce the power and the propulsion using radioactive material to boil the water.